Um, so you guys remember how to win. I feel pretty good about that. Overall, your thoughts on the night, especially the 3-5-2 formation. What did you like? What you got out of that? What did you like about it?
Yeah, first I thought it was a very solid professional performance for much of the night. I thought we did a great job of finding good spots and being able to play through their lines and be able to create attacks. First half, we had a lot of attacks that looked really promising that we weren't able to really get something out of, but I thought that we were in really good spots and very difficult for them to pick up on us. And from that, I thought we were able to control a lot of the play and again be dangerous in moments where again just a little more efficiency, a little more connection in the final action. We probably get something out of that half, but in the end, we stayed solid defensively for the most part. JK had one or two early that I can recall that were good saves. But again, I thought against a good team that knows how to attack, they're a good team with good players. You're going to have to manage some moments through the course of the game. The second half, I think, again, it was more of the same, and we found some opportunities in transitions and some other opportunities to get ahead of the game. And this is, aside from maybe Dallas early, that we gave the goal back pretty quickly, if I recall. This is the first time we've been up a goal in the game. And, as I've said, if we can get up in games, then gaps and spaces are going to open up, transitions are going to open up for us, things like that for us to be able to get the second, and we were. We probably left a couple on the table that maybe we could have gotten, but beggars can't be choosers right now. We take it and the 3 points and grow from it. Yeah, it was something that, again, we felt we could disrupt a little bit of their shape, something they wouldn't really expect. They got Dayon and Javi a little up there together. We got a little more presence in front of the goal, but I thought they did a really nice job of playing off of each other in terms of just one showing, one opening, creating some space, and just, again, I thought it worked. I don't typically like just a straight 4-4-2, but it was a way for us to keep our midfielders kind of in their positions, doing the things that they do while still having the power of two strikers. And also, I thought Julian was outstanding, and Tyler did a great job as well, giving us width and giving us options out on the outside.
Hey, Greg, talk a little bit about the movement. I thought we saw some really good movement from you guys, and also, was this the best game that you guys have played this year?
Yeah, I think it was arguably the best, probably full 90 minutes that we've put together. I think in terms of just consistency over the 90 minutes, I felt like we were engaged. We were finding good spots. We were making, by and large, for most of the game, good decisions in transition of when we tried to go fast and when we would choose when to slow it up and control the game. One at the end when maybe Tyler rushed one on the switch right towards the end of the first half that kind of caught us open, and we survived an offsides call there. But that was probably one of the few moments where I thought we rushed it a little bit, but I thought otherwise we went when we should go and we controlled it when we should control it. I thought guys did a good job of, transitioning and connecting defensively into our block, and we weren't losing guys so easily, so everybody was engaged for 90 minutes by and large. I thought, again, just in terms of good, solid, complete performance, even some of the little details that I think we've lacked in some of the other games that have cost us, I thought we did a better job of those things tonight, which is, translates into a win. So, we got to keep building. Again, I don't think we've played poorly through some of the stretch of challenges, but we've had little gaps in that have killed us. And so tonight it was nice to eliminate some of those gaps and certainly get goals and hold on for a good performance and a good win.
I thought you guys did a real nice job of moving the ball, but also moving off of the ball. And Ricky is so key to that. And I thought Ricky, again, was electric. But now you lose him for next game.
Yeah, it's, he's feisty and fiery, and he seems to be in the middle of a lot of things. And so it didn't take him long to get to that threshold. But yeah, for us, one of the challenges that we've been working through in the first part of the season is reading his movements and trying to still fill the right spaces at the right times so that we can build some attacks with the right numbers and all that kind of stuff. And tonight I thought we were filling those spaces better, which also had presence in front of the goal with one of the strikers, sometimes two strikers. I think the presence of the the so-called, wing backs, if you will, gave us this constant presence in the wide areas that sometimes we lose for little stretches in games for one reason or another. I don't want to get into the overall tactics of it, but tonight I just felt like our structure was clearer and better, and guys were popping into good spaces at good times, and the combination play, things like that was very solid.
And lastly, the last time we saw Coach was not a good moment. He seemed to be inspired tonight. As soon as he came on, 2 very good passes. He nearly curls that ball in,
Yeah.
plays another ball that it creates a chance. It just seemed that, maybe he wanted to get out there and show, this is what I'm about. That isn't. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he immediately after the Houston game, he apologized to the group, and he knows it's a mistake that we can't have, and he's very aware of that. So he's been chomping at the bit the last couple games. Just, one, he had to sit out. Even today, I didn't start him because of the shape that we were working through for the night, and but he wanted to get out, and he wanted to, have an impact. So I think he's been doing that in training. He's been fantastic. He shows his quality through moments that's exceptional. So again, just for him, I think it's emotionally just finding that kind of that calm, that peace that he needs to just go out and do his job. But his fitness is in a good spot, and he's ready to play and help the team.
Greg, I know you've talked a little bit about transition, but it seemed like you guys got into the transition a lot easier than maybe you have all year. Some of that probably the formation and just getting bodies forward, but is that something you'd like to see more of for this team?
Yeah, definitely. I think, if to score goals in different ways, not just through our set controlled possessions, which is one of the hardest ways in the game to score goals, but to be able to do that in transition. Some of it for sure tonight was having the presence of another attacker, somebody ahead of the ball who, and I thought Dayan did a great job, and at times Javi did a great job of creating just the run that goes in behind and stretching the field, which allowed us to either play midfielders forward or even to go behind early, and then we got numbers and bodies coming into the attack with us. And so whether that's with wingers or 2 strikers, we just haven't had much of it through the course of the season. I think we've left, the concept of scoring goals in transition on the table too much, and if you want to be a great team, you've got to be able to score in transition. We've got to still find the best way to score on set pieces from time to time, and then we can get our goals through some of the beautiful, possession-oriented play. But we need to, and we've been talking a lot about trying to be dangerous in all 3 phases of those types of attacks, so that we're not always getting our goals just from one way, and that's the most difficult way sometimes. So it was much better tonight, and I thought, and we've watched video and just watching. In the video, guys, when the ball turns over, getting the right guys breaking for the depth, and today I thought we had much more of that through the course of the game, which certainly created some good moments for us.
And then my final one, the defense, the back line now is made up of 19 and 20-year-olds, and Martin back there.
He's not 19?
He probably plays like it.
He's double their age, I think.
What gives you the confidence sort of to be able to put those guys in this situation? It seems like you picked up 2 good outside backs in that, but they're still 19 and 20 years old and playing in Major League Soccer.
Yeah, I mean, for working across, if you look at Lucas, he's 20, 21 years old, but he's also played 70 matches in Serie A in Brazil, and was an under 20 in Brazil, and so he's got experience. Even though he's young, he has experience. And the second we saw him in training and we've seen him in the games, you can tell right off the bat that he has a good education for the game. He reads the plays well. He's got a great demeanor. I love, defenders who are just cerebral and read plays and make smart decisions. And, he's not a flyer like, say, Julian was last year, but he plays you out of situations that look like you're going to get stuck, and he just has great angles and a great way to, both on the ball and off the ball, just to make really good, solid decisions over the course of 90 minutes. So he's proven that since he arrived, and so I have tons of confidence in him. Jalen has proven himself through preseason and through the early games. And there's not much to say more about what he's been able to do. And Julian is another guy. I've watched Julian for a couple years, because I was actually, I think I said this in a previous one, I was watching the left back at Lanús that when Julian wasn't playing yet. And so I saw this tall, lanky kid coming through, and So I've actually seen him play for a couple years, and he's played through difficult times at Lanús and through good times at Lanús. You know, they had a couple years ago, they were not having a great season, so he's had to play through some of those tough moments, and then they had a good season. And again, tonight I thought he was outstanding. I mean, for his first start, his capacity to get up in the attack, but also to recover back defensively, again, to make great plays in possession. I thought he was just really good. I mean, I think one of the things that you see as we continue to build this team is we're trying to build a team that can compete right away, which we're working on, and tonight is the first step towards showing you that, but also a team that has a really bright future. And so, you know, you see that in those three guys and others that are out there. I mean, Ricky's only a 99, and Deion's only a 99, so when you're talking birth years, so these are pretty young players who have an exceptional future here.
Hey, Greg, just wanted to talk about Chicharito and Deion. Do you see that maybe going forward, or you still want to maybe revert back to the one striker system?
Well, I think tonight was probably, for me, one of the best outings the two of them have had together as a pairing. I felt like part of that, you know, is also because of the midfield and the shape of the midfield, being able to have our guys still control the middle of the field, and those guys could kind of play off the movement of the midfielders. That was the idea, and I thought, again, they were connected. They were paying attention to each other. And we talked a little bit with them about, you know, because they're similar, what sometimes happens is when the ball goes wide, they both make the same run to try to kind of drift to the back post looking for the final action. And what would happen is we wouldn't get to the final action because we lose a number that would normally be a midfielder or somebody involved in trying to create that attack. And instead we were getting two guys setting up for the final action, but we never get to the final action. Tonight I thought there was a great mix of those guys being involved in creating some of the moments, but also being in position to finish some of the moments. And if we can find that balance, then two strikers can certainly work, as it did tonight. So I thought they did a really nice job of playing off of each other and playing with the rest of the group in that way, you know.
Yeah, and Deion looked a little frustrated coming off the bench.
Yeah, of course, he's a goal scorer, and you know, for goal scorers, they love the last 20 minutes of the game when you're up because it really starts to open up. And so he was pissed at me, and I get it, and I totally understand. I'm looking at it from a coach that's trying to get the first win of the season on the night, and I thought, okay, defensively, we could use an extra midfielder in this to try to 2 goals or to try to lock this thing down. So I totally get his frustration. This kid is fiery, and he wants to score goals. And you know, we talked it out after, and I told him that he's going to get plenty of goals and lots of minutes, and I respect it. That's what he's here to do, and that's what he wants to do.
Hey, Greg. Congrats on the win today.
Thank you.
So 2 days before the transfer window shuts, you said on Thursday you'd have a little bit more clarity on what you guys were trying to do, or maybe you said, I believe, a couple hours away from knowing something. Did you get any more clarity, and are you guys a little bit further along the lines of getting someone over the line? And what kind of what profile are you looking for in a player?
Yeah, I'll know more when I leave this press conference about how close we are. So we're still working on it. I mean, we're looking again for some more pace, some stretch, somebody who can get us behind the back line a little bit. That you saw some vertical play from us tonight in that transition and the two guys. So I think we could use another guy that helps us in that capacity, because we have a lot of guys who are really clean in between the lines and are really good passers, and just a touch more maybe speed and directness that can help this group, and maybe play as a winger, could also play in different roles. So that's what we've been looking for. It's been an incredible process working through, because we've worked our way through a series of players who've all had interest, and their clubs are either in cup finals all of a sudden because they've gotten to them. Their teams are battling relegation. They're playing for Europe. So it's been more challenging trying to get players out of the clubs than necessarily the players having interest in the situation. So I'll know more tonight. So the 2 hours I gave you didn't give me as much clarity as I was hoping. So hopefully tonight and then tomorrow we could get something completed. But we're trying to make the right decision here in this process, not make just a decision. If something doesn't happen, then we have some pretty reasonable resources to work inside the league over the course of the summer if we need to. The summer is a lot easier because there's a lot more players going in and out of both in the league, and I know we can't work outside the league, but players come into the league, which then also makes players inside the league more available. But it's just been it's been an interesting process trying to do as much business as we've tried to do inside of this winter window, which is not always the biggest window. I think the summer is much clearer. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for your time, Greg.
Thank you.
And next, we will be joined by LA Galaxy players who have a pivotal role in the match.